Welcome to Crimson Nail. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy appetizer that's perfect for Christmas or any holiday really. Okay, so it's all pretty simple. I'm using the beef Little Smokies, but technically you could use the pork or even the cheddar if you wanted, although I don't know how that would taste with the brown sugar. And then I'm using the Oscar Mayer original bacon. I do have some that's already opened, so I will use it first. Then you just need some kitchen scissors and round toothpicks, which I did go ahead and pull out of the box to avoid cross-contamination. Now this time I'm going to try doing something different, or this year. So I do have a cookie sheet sitting out to the side, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a minute. So I'm going to start by lining the cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper. Because my plan is to flash freeze them and then try bagging them and see how that works this year. Normally I just wrap them like maybe a day or two in advance, but this year I'd like to get it done way in advance so that when it gets closer to the holidays I can actually just enjoy time and have some time to relax before I have to entertain. It's no big deal that I'm using the same scissors here because these two things are going to be basically cross-contaminated anyways. So all I'm going to do is take my strip of bacon and then I'm going to take a little smoky and I'm going to come in and wrap around my little smoky with the piece of bacon. And then basically where the toothpick's going to go in, I'm going to cut. Take a toothpick and insert it in, but I don't want it poking through the bottom side because I do want them to stand up. And I'll just follow the same process until I've wrapped this entire package of Little Smokies. I'm just setting them over here on my cookie sheet. You don't want too much overlap, but you do want enough so that the toothpick secures the bacon. So then, basically my plan will be to defrost them a day or two in advance, and then all I have to do the morning of when I want to serve them, or the day of when I want to serve them, is go ahead and put them into my disposable cooking sheet and add the brown sugar and pop them in the oven. Now I will show you a clip of some that I cooked at the end of this so that I take you all the way through the process. As far as this part's concerned though, it's pretty straightforward. Now if you were going to bake them same day, you would want to go ahead and get your oven preheated to 385 degrees. My countertops are clean, so it doesn't really matter if I dropped it. I literally just disinfected them before, and I will disinfect them right after I'm done with this. Miss Abby wanted to make sure her presence was known, so you're going to hear her chiming in with a random bark right about here. Okay, so I just have 4 little Smokies left, but that does mean that I have to open this other pack of bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands in between the two. I'm going to pause you guys, and after I get this pack of bacon open, then I'll bring you back for the last 4, and we'll go ahead and get these popped in the freezer. And I'm going to start by freezing them for about 20 minutes, I think. We'll have to see. The top piece of bacon in this pack was really thin, so I did pull it off and lay it to the side. So now, to avoid cross-contamination, I'm going to go ahead and pull my 2 pieces of bacon that I need out of the package. Before I wrap these last couple. And whatever toothpicks I don't end up using, I will just throw away. The last piece of cut off bacon, I'll just set off to the side, and I'll add some brown sugar to it and cook it as just a piece of bacon the same day. So now we're ready to put them in the freezer. I'm going to go ahead and get my countertop cleaned and you guys repositioned so that you can see them going in. And then, like I said, we're going to try 20 minutes and come back and see how they do. So then I did go through and make sure that none of them were touching. And I'm going to go ahead and slide them in on the top shelf here of my freezer. We'll set the timer for 20 minutes. And while those are flash freezing, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to bake them and what they look like when they're finished. If you were paying attention earlier, then you already know the oven should be preheated to 385 degrees, which it is. So now it's time to add the brown sugar, and I have arranged these in a glass baking dish because I did not have a disposable one on hand. Now, while I prefer a disposable one because it makes cleanup the simplest, the glass dish is the next easiest to get clean. After you've topped them with brown sugar, all you have to do is pop them in the oven. And I do check on them in 10-minute intervals. So this was 10 minutes in, and I did add more brown sugar. Now this is all dependent on your taste. I like mine on the sweeter side, like super caramelized. 20 minutes in, technically, if you don't like your bacon crispy, these could be considered done. However, I like my bacon on the crispy side, so I added more sugar and let them cook for another 10 minutes. And here we are at 30 minutes in. Don't they look delicious? All that's left to do is plate and serve them. So now let's check on those ones that I put in the freezer before we started cooking these. And this was about at the 20-minute mark. Now they were pretty solid. However, it kind of seemed like they were still going to stick together. So I did opt to let them freeze for another 10 minutes. Well, at least that was my initial plan. Okay, so I actually got distracted and they've probably been in here about 45 minutes at this point. They are frozen enough to go ahead and place them inside a Ziploc bag. You can hear they're rock solid. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a Ziploc bag, throw these inside it, and then pop them back in the freezer. And then tomorrow we'll come back and see if it worked or if they're stuck together. And it did work. None of them are stuck together. So now that I know this process works, I will be repeating it so that I can freeze a big batch of them because I normally use them not only for holidays but for gatherings too.